Blessings, blessings, blessings. Happy Wednesday, friends. So this morning, like at 9:34 ish, trying to get it. The sun is going to move into gate 44. That is the gate of alertness. It is in the Spleen Center, y'all. The energy of this gate. I have not created the blog yet, but I started my research last night because I almost forgot that it was moving so quickly to me. But time is just flying in my world. But what I was gonna say. So yo, gate 44 is lit. Okay, so last week I said I had the channel of that gate. I don't have the channel. I had that gate, both conscious and unconscious. My bad. But no, for real, I really do have this channel. I have the 4426 channel for sure. Okay, so gate 44 is the gate of alertness, and I specifically want to focus on the shadow of this gate. So the shadow of this gate is interference when we're looking at it from the lens of the gene key. And interference in this sense is like those energetic patterns that basically keep us from being in alignment and in flow with our relationships. And so I love this gate's energy because I think so many of us can relate to it. And again, when we're talking about these gene keys, when we're talking about these gates, we're talking about archetypes, right? And these are archetypes that are within humanity, right? So humans, all of us may have it we all have it in us. It may be dormant, it may be active, whatever. That's just what it is. But we all have, just like we all have all the astrology signs, energy in us, the same things go for these gates, right? They're all in us, and they get activated, right, as the sun, the different planets move and transits happen, right? So we all have the gate available to us. Anywho, so therefore we have the availability of the shadows. All right. So the shadow of this is interference, and when we're talking about interference, we're talking about, the pain, the wounds, the beliefs, the patterns, all those things, right? Basically anything that keep us from out of flow. That's how I see it. It's the same thing how I see the idea of corruption within our energetic field. Anywho, so this whole interference thing, what I love so much about it is that it really does speak to what keeps us out of harmony within our relationships. So interference in this sense is, so every gate within the Spleen Center has a fear attached to it. It's, I think, ajna, emotional center, and the spleen, they all have fears connected to them. Anywho, they're awareness centers anyway. But I'll get back to that later. But definitely when it comes to the spleen, they all have, every gate has a fear connected to it. This gate 44, is the fear of the past, right? So basically, the way gate 44 is, so when you have this gate activated, this is a person who can pick up on patterns. They can utilize that patterns to help them to make sense of today, right? So the whole idea about patterns, right? The whole idea about the past is not to utilize it to always see the world from that lens, but to use the wisdom that you gathered from that experience, right? And apply it to this experience and how you move forward. But it's not about seeing the present moment from the lens as if like, I know that this is that because in the past it was that. No. And so this gate is really good with picking up on patterns. And so this is why I'm so good with energy, because like your girl pick up on patterns, period. And remember, this is in the Spleen Center, so awareness center. Hello. Anywho, so I told y'all about the interference. I'm telling y'all about the Spleen Center and the awareness center. And basically it keeps us out of harmony when we are, all right, so when we are in relationships with people, the way the shadow might show up is like, we're not willing to be vulnerable. I'm not willing to be vulnerable because in the past when I was vulnerable, people used it against me. That fear of opening up because someone may use it against you or someone may hurt you, right? That will interfere with the flow of your relationships with other, right? You may believe that, oh, I can't trust people, right? You make a whole rule out of this past experience, right? That affects your relationships. Now, this gate is a tribal gate, right? And so when I think about tribal, I think about community. I think about community. I think about, our environment, who we're around, the people we're around, the communities we're around, and like caring for them and being resourceful for them and us showing up and our truth for them, right? Like each person has a part to play. Anywho, so the thing with this gate is that when we are in a place where we are in the shadow of this gate, right? The shadow is interference. Basically, you may have a pattern or a belief that you're holding on to, whether conscious or subconscious, that plays out in your relationships with others. And this energy, right, keeps you from having an authentic, honest, harmonious relationship with others, because you may be trying to protect yourself. You may be defensive, right? And therefore is not allowing the natural flow of that relationship to be what it is, right? The gift of this gate is teamwork. And so in that sense, it's about collaborating. It's about allowing each individual to be who they are, right? And to be in their truth, and knowing that in their truth, in who they are, that they bring something to the tribe, right? They bring something to the community. And that if each of us is in our truth, in our flow, that together we are in harmony, right? And everybody gets to be the boss of themselves, right? Everybody gets to be powerful in who they are. Everyone gets to be sovereign in this space, right? Because each of us have a part to play. Each of us is a leader in our own right? And leader meaning just like leader of your life, leader of your purpose, whatever that is. When I'm talking about purpose, I'm just talking about a well-lived life. I'm just talking about you living out your truth, whatever that may be. Because whatever your truth is what's needed in this world, right? What's needed within your community, because that's why you are there, right? We all have a purpose. And so this gate 44, I love it so much because it really does. It speaks to relationships, and it speaks to how relationships, how a lot of us come into relationships coming from a place of the past. I was dating someone, and I remember like telling them, like, you date me like you date an ex. You date me like you dated me before. That never happened, right? And so it's like reminding people that, like, I understand what you've been through. I understand where you come from. I hear you, and I know that life has shown you many things, but give this a chance, right? Give life a chance. Give this relationship a chance. See it for what it is and not what you've been through, right? See it from a different lens. And that's what interference is. Interference is when we are looking from things from a place of the past. We're trying to avoid the past, maybe in some way. And so maybe we are avoidant in our attachment style. Maybe we're anxious, right? We run away every time there's a problem, or we get defensive every time someone says something that triggers us within, instead of recognizing that, what we are projecting, that anger, that fear, is really a reflection of our inner world. And that's what gate 44 speaks to as well, is like that what we see as like problems or issues outside of us, like how we're perceiving things. And perception is a big thing when it comes to this gate, because remember, we are perceiving an issue. We are perceiving a problem. We are perceiving that we should be defensive against this. We are perceiving that we should be scared of this. We are perceiving it from our memory, from our lens, from what we have already experienced, from what we know about life. But what this gate tells us is that your perception, what you're actually witnessing, is just really a reflection of your inner world, right? The way you are looking at something is just a projection of your fears within you. And so I think that this gate for me is so important, because a couple of weeks ago, Spirit showed me that, when you are worried about finances, it's not about finances, right? Like your outside world is projecting like, I need to be worried. I need to be worried about finances. There's not enough. There's not enough. But really, that feeling, those beliefs you're having are really a reflection of your inner world. It's your inner world and how you're viewing, how you're perceiving the situation. And so gate 44 really speaks to that. It's like, there's not an issue with this person. This person is not harmful in and of itself. But because of your fears within you, your perception, the way you are seeing the situation is not seeing it for what it is, but you're seeing it from your own inner world. You're projecting your fears outside. You're projecting your fears by telling a story, by being angry, by being anxious, by being worried. Like, that's just your inner state. And so I thought this gate is so cool to be coming up, because I think my post from yesterday talked about this, right? And I think that I've even had conversations with friends who are recognizing that, like, we're just in a space where we're recognizing like what is helpful for us and what is not. And that's what gate 44 is about. Like, are these relationships actually conducive to your purpose? Is it conducive to your existence? Is it conducive to what you are called to do? Are the relationships you're a part of actually supportive of you? And that's part of like this gate's energy, as well as like basically harmonizing in our relationships. I've got to tell y'all more, but I'm gonna stop there because it's about interference and the shadow of this gate 44. I love y'all. I'll speak soon.